So welcome to all of you who are interested in participating in this activity. This activity has been carried out at the University of Padova since, well, before the COVID. and this is the 8th edition. Every year we had this initiative that gathers to allow to gather in Padova teams and students, master students, but also sometimes bachelor students at the end of their bachelor, students from all parts of Europe and also outside Europe, to simulate the activities of the UPR, the Universal Periodic Review, which is one of the, let's say, major initiatives, major activities carried out by the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights and the Human Rights Council, of course, in Geneva. So we are very proud of having, let's say, created and implemented for so many years this activity. Is a very, intense and rewarding experience for all students who have had the chance of participating in it. And there are a number of students, because every year we collect in Padova about 50 students, 50 people. And it's an experience of friendship, of learning, because you learn a lot about the UPR and in general how the UN human rights monitoring mechanism work. You practice some skills as negotiators, as diplomats, and also as human rights practitioners in a sense, because you have to scrutinize the situation in terms of human rights in different countries. You have to study what is the strategy, what is the tactics of NGOs in addressing some issues, and also in addressing some states. You learn how to write a proper report about human rights in your country or the pretended country that you are representing. And all this in a context of, let's say, in a context in which you are not, let's say, assessed by some professors or whatever. You are assessed by your peers. And so it's sort of a UPR within the UPR in a sense, because the secretariat will watch at you, will give you, provide some evaluations and so on. At the end, your performance will be rewarded. But the focus is not getting the prize at the end of this simulation, but really know people, share with people your knowledge, your expertise, and your also interest in human rights issues, and create a nice community. From this community, next year, hopefully, we will see. We will, you yourself will select, will get born the new secretariat, the new group of people that will organize the next edition, hopefully, of this activity. So I stop here because this is an info session which is run by this group of wonderful girls that are this year, representing the UPR secretariat. And they have a nice presentation for you. And then there will be, I suppose, question and answers. I will remain with you in case there are any information that I can give you. And thank you for coming again. Over to you, Ronja.
Thank you, Professor Stephanie. So first, we're going to start off with some very short information for you. So the Padova Model UPR is going to be from the 25th to the 28th of November this year. It will be held in person. And also, there will not be a participation fee of any kind, but there will be more info on the specifics regarding this later. So first, we're going to introduce the team. So we are a team of 11 organizing the UPR. I myself, we're split into the concept and the communication team. I myself got a bachelor in social science from the University of Roskilde, Denmark. My colleague Bianca, who will be speaking after me, got a bachelor in international relations from the University of Coimbra in Portugal. And lastly, Maria, who will be closing out this info session, got a bachelor's in public health and development sciences from the University of Balamand in Lebanon. So in this info session, we're going to talk a bit about what the Universal Periodic Review is, what the Padova Model UPR is, what actors are represented this year, how you can prepare for this, why you should apply, how the application process works, and also some insights from ex-participants on what the UPR meant for them and what it brought to them, both academically and socially. So what is the UPR? The UPR is a unique monitoring process involving a periodic review of the human rights records of all 193 UN member states. It is an innovative measure of the Human Rights Council based on the principle of equal treatment of all countries. It provides an opportunity for all member states to provide an account of what actions they have taken to address and improve the human rights situations in their countries. It further enables domestic national human rights institutions to provide an account of the main issues facing human rights in their countries, as well as identify good practice. International non-governmental organizations, or NGOs, may also feed into the process and provide unique insights. The ultimate aim of the UPR is to improve the human rights situation in every country and provide technical assistance to states. It is designed to prompt, support, and expand the promotion and protection of human rights within these countries. So what is specifically the Padova Model UPR? It is a unique academic simulation of the Universal Periodic Review and is organized by the International Team of Students, us, with the guidance of the Human Rights Center Antonio Papisca and the MA degree program in Human Rights and Multi-Level Governance at the University of Padua in Italy. The Padova Model UPR is additionally supported by the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights branch, which will kindly provide a judge or an external evaluator to serve during the simulation. Now into the specifics on what the roles of the specific actors are in the Padova Model UPR. The roles are states, national human rights institutions, or NHRIs, and NGOs, international non-governmental organizations. It is an intensive, interactive, and engaging simulation which encourages you to fully immerse yourself in the representation of your state or organization. Now, onto the role of the state. The state role is split into two roles: role as a recommending state and the role as a state under review. For the recommending state, during each cycle, recommending states are expected to monitor human rights developments and to assess the level of implementation of accepted recommendations. Recommendations should build upon the previous review in order to promote sustained progress and address any emerging challenges to human rights. When previous recommendations have not been implemented, recommending states should remind states under review of their commitments to ensure that mechanisms remains a continuous process from one cycle to the next. The role of the state under review begins prior to each UPR. The state under review are expected to produce a national report, which forms the basis of the review at the working group. During the drafting phase, the SUR, or State Under Review, is encouraged to conduct broad national consultations with all relevant stakeholders, both governmental and civil society. These consultations help to make the mechanisms more inclusive and transparent and to ensure that a wide range of views are taken into account. During the review, the SUR presents its national human rights situation, including the achievements and challenges encountered in the implementation of recommendations received during the previous cycle. In addition, it participates in an interactive dialogue with other UN member states and responds to questions and recommendations received. Once the report of the review is approved by the Human Rights Council, the state under review is expected to implement the recommendations it accepted. In the event that a state under review fails to cooperate with a mechanism, the Human Rights Council may take measures to urge the government to resume collaboration. Now onto the roles of the national human rights institutions. These are mandated state bodies established under a constitutional legislative act to protect and promote human rights domestically. They operate independently from the government. NRGIs can have direct impact throughout the UPR process by cooperating with national and international stakeholders and the international human rights system, and contributing to human rights implementation. Further, they can play an active role at all stages of the UPR by acting as a bridge between the state under review and other UPR stakeholders and the Human Rights Council, providing independent and authoritative information through reporting, for example, sharing best practice examples and lessons learned on the UPR engagement, providing advice to the government on UPR recommendations, monitoring the implementation of UPR recommendations, raising UPR awareness at the national level and encouraging domestic actors to take part in the process, and by delivering human rights training. Cooperating with civil society organizations is an integral part of the mandate of NHRIs as part of the Paris Principles. Civil society organizations operate at the grassroots level and have local information that might not be readily available to NHRIs. Hence, coordination between NHRIs and CSOs or civil society organizations, particularly in terms of international advocacy and reporting, is essential to the effectiveness of initiatives. Now, at last, to the role of the NGOs in the UPR. The NGOs are there to ensure the NGOs' priority human rights issues are raised in the state under review's reports and during the UPR. They are there to assist states to raise the most relevant issues, to reinforce key recommendations of other human rights bodies, to get more recommendations accepted by the state under review, to ensure the successful implementation of accepted recommendations, and to maintain a dialogue on noted recommendations. This is, of course, a lot of info, and you can always read more about this in our handbook that is on the website. But just as a overview of the roles. Now, my colleague Bianca will continue on explaining about what states were selected for this year and more about the UPR model.
Okay, so this year, the states represented are Australia, Denmark, Lebanon, Rwanda, Singapore, and Trinidad and Tobago. We chose to try a different format this year, so only 4 of the states have NHRIs, which are the National Human Rights Institutions, and they are from Australia, Denmark, Lebanon, and Rwanda. In relation to the international NGOs, we are gonna have International Alliance for Women, International Refugee Assistance Project, Friends of the Earth International, and Human Dignity Trust. So how should you prepare for the Model UPR? We will provide training sessions for the participants, and these training sessions will cover the rules of the game, the expectations of the participants for the duration of the simulation, and present the required tasks and how to complete them. And there will also be role-specific training for the states, NGOs, and NHRIs. The trainings will be delivered in 3 online sessions towards the end of October. And some of the sessions are going to be followed by a guest speaker. It is really important that all the participants attend the training sessions, as they are mandatory, but they will going to prepare you for the simulation. We also highly recommend you reading with attention the handbook and the guidebook that we prepared, and it is in our website, as Rania said, because they have all the information stripped down, so it's easier for you to understand. So why should you apply? The Model UPR, it will give you the space to develop key skills such as research, teamwork, problem solving, negotiation, and working under pressure. It will also give you room to acquire new expertise, and it is also a great network opportunity with students from all over the world and professionals from the UPR branch. And not only at the end of the simulation days, the participants will gain an open badge in international negotiation. So the model UPR is a space for you to develop your knowledge by acting as states, NHRs, and NGOs. It's a very good hands-on experience of the knowledge you have acquired during your academic life. And besides that, you will gain experience in the actual UPR procedure. Okay, so how do you apply? We only accept applications from university students, but we welcome people from all over, from different pathways. And in order to apply, you must meet the following requirements. Bachelor students must have at least 2 years of the degree completed. Master and PhD students should have an interest and possibly prior knowledge in human rights. Every participant must have basic knowledge of the operational process of the UPR and a good level of English, at least B2, because the entire simulation will be held in English. And the participants must be above 18 years old. It's important to highlight that we will only accept group applications. Individual applications will not be considered. So if you are interested in participating, but you don't have a group, we created a WhatsApp groups that we are gonna share later in the process. So you can find in this group other people that are also interested and don't have a team, and you can create your own team so you can apply. That's it. Now I give the floor to...
Okay, thank you, Bianca. Thank you. So as my colleague Rania previously mentioned, participation is free of charge. However, travel and accommodation expenses will not be covered. So should you need financial support, consider if your home institution can provide it. The simulation will take place on site at the Human Rights Center in Padova. In-person participation is mandatory. Online participation is possible only in exceptional circumstances. Also, please keep in mind the need for a visa in case you are a non-EU student who wants to apply. The University of Padova is able to provide invitation letters for the purposes of applying for a visa. Upon confirmation of your selection to participate, you will be added to the university Moodle platform to be used throughout the simulation. You can apply by forming a team and then completing the application form. The application form can be accessed online. The application went live on 16 June and will run until 5 September for non-EU students and residents, and to 3 October for EU students and residents. We recommend that before you and your team complete and submit the application form, you read all the relevant information available on the website of the Padova Model UPR. The application form contains 2 sections. Section to submit the necessary information about you and your team members, and a section of 4 to 5 open-ended questions. We recommend that you take your time with your team to prepare for and complete the application form. It should take around 30 minutes. Please make sure that the team leader's email is regularly checked, as we will use this email to address your team and to send all the communications there. After you submit your application, a copy of your form will be sent to the team leader's email. You will be informed of the outcome of your application by 12 September for non-EU students and 9 October for EU students. Please check your email, including your spam and junk folder. If successful, you will need to confirm your team's participation 48 hours after the selection and non-EU participants should update us regarding the visa process. If you have any questions about the application form, please feel free to contact the Secretariat. We are happy to answer any questions you and your team may have. You can find our email in the slides, and we will also have a Q&A at the end of the meeting. We will now move on to previous participants' experience.
Hi, hello. My name is Giovanna. I am the first year of the Human Rights and Multi-Level Governance Master, and I participated as I stayed under review representing Turkey last UPR, so last year. And I could say a lot of things about the good opportunities that I have had, but I believe that one of the most important things that I acquired is the ability to work as a group. Because of course, on your bachelor's and your master's, you have the opportunity to work in a group, but it's really nice to see the connection that you bring and the connection that you have with those people and how they can help you, how they can see what you need to do and what you can do and what you can do to make the experience even better. So I think that is really good because you can create connections not only with your group, but also with everyone around the world, basically. Last year, we had a lot of international students participating, not only me, that I'm an international student, but people from all over the world. So I think it's very good for you to have the opportunity to see a lot of cultures, see how they talk, see how they use their words, see how they see the words that they live in. So I think it's a very good experience besides all the academic opportunities. So you can improve your diplomatic language, you can improve your way of creating awareness about the world that you live. So I think that you can gain critical thinking, you can experience a lot of things that you would miss if you are only being a master student or a bachelor student, for example. I think if you have the opportunity to participate in extracurricular activities such as this one, that it's very complete, you should apply. And I guarantee that it's a very good opportunity. I'm here now as the secretariat, part of the secretariat. So that's the proof that I really liked it and I want to continue on participating on the Model UPR. If you have any questions at all, you just let us know. And good luck, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Giovanna. We will now move on to any questions you may have. Feel free to ask them now in the chat or unmute yourself.
Hi, I've already talked to you, but I'm here to give my experience, to talk about my experience in the last UPR. I also represented Turkey in the last year UPR, and personally, I find very interesting the opportunity to represent a state that is very different from mine. I'm Brazilian, and that has ideas and beliefs that are also different from mine. And for me, that is the magic of academic simulation, being able to represent a view completely different from yours and learn more about it. The UPR showed me the importance of working as a team, as Giovanna said, and the importance of having a team that you trust, as many times we were working under pressure or with a tight deadline, and we had to trust each other and work together. It was also important for me personally, as I had to challenge myself in some situations, for example, with public speaking, and I think it really helped me to improve it. I personally love academic simulations. I have participated in many Model UN, but the UPR was the first time last year. And it was a totally different experience from the other simulations I have participated. It was very enriching personally, as I could work with friends as a team and with all the other participants. Because for me, in the end of the day, all the participants are one big team because we are all working for the same goal. and was obviously also very enriching academically and professionally also, as I could learn more about mine and the other states, the NHRIs and NGOs, and about the UPR procedure. So I think it's a very good opportunity and that you will really like it. I hope to see you there next semester, I'm sorry. Okay, so I think we can move on to the Q&A. So please, if you have any questions, send in the chat and we are gonna answer.
Thank you, Bianca. We actually have one question from Paola. She says, thank you for the information. My question is if the team needs an instructor.
I guess I can answer. The team does not need an instructor. Like there's no, you're not going to be assigned an instructor or need to bring one. You'll have a team leader that is sort of a representative of your team, so that manages communication, but that's just a fellow student. So there will not be any formal instructor. You will manage everything yourself as a group of students. And then, of course, you can contact us as Secretariat if you have any further questions. Hope that answered that. Professor Stephanie?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Ronia. Maybe I can just add that, well, the team, the Secretariat, will provide you with a very detailed, let's say, training in October. Of course, if within your university you can manage to have some instructor, if you have the support of some professors and so on, of course, this is another value, but it's not strictly necessary. I would add that there is not so many examples of a model dedicated to the UPR. So there are many model UN around, but this is really unique. And this makes it difficult sometimes to find instructors that can really, make the difference in connection with this exercise. So fine, if you have somebody who can support you at your university, good luck, you are lucky. But really is not required. And many excellent teams have succeeded without having an instructor. Also thanks to the Secretariat that has an excellent, module of trainings that help anyone. Just let me add a little thing. I mean, you already know that we have the support of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, and some people, officers from the UN systematically participate in our UPR. By participating in our exercise, you create a sort of direct connection with the real, let's say, UPR officer in Geneva. In this moment, I think that I don't know what you think about, but it is important to also witness from our side, the side of academics and civil society, support to the UN and in particular the branches of the UN that deal with human rights, because as you know, the human rights situation is quite dire in many parts of the world. So there is also this little element of a political engagement that I would, let's say, emphasize at this moment. So by participating in this exercise, we witness our, let's say, solidarity with all those who work for human rights, who struggle for human rights, and in particular to the UN, which is the front line in many situations.
Thank you, Professor De Stephanie. We have two more questions right now. So one is, how many members does the team need?
I can answer that. So to be a team that represents a state, you need to be 4 members. 2 would be the recommending state and 2 would be the state under review. For the INGOs and the NHRIs, you need to be in pairs, so a group of 2 students.
Thank you. And then our next question is, in case until the close of the deadline, I can still not find a teammate, am I be assigned to another team or a random teammate by organizing team?
I guess I can answer. The application is as a team, so you cannot participate in the you cannot send an application just as yourself. We urge you to find through the WhatsApp group, find teammates, because we found that putting a team of strangers together who are not sort of willingly made a group beforehand, it sometimes doesn't work out teamwork wise, or they sometimes experience difficulties. So we do encourage you to find a teammate by yourself, or we can, if we see that many of them are like, we see 3 different people who don't have a team, we'll bring you together, but in the end you will have to form a team by yourself, and you're not gonna just be assigned to another team or randomly put together. I think that's just something, yeah, you need to do yourself and find a team yourself, and yeah, communicate that way and see who you maybe fit with and where your interests align and what stake you want to do, like what actor you want to be, etc. So yeah, that we will obviously try and assist you as much as possible in facilitating the process, but in the end it will be something that you would need to do yourself. All right. Any more questions? We'll give it another minute in case you need to write it out in the chat. All right, it doesn't seem like there's any more questions. In case, you can always also just write us as the secretariat an email or write in the WhatsApp group chat, etc. On the last slide, we would like to obviously say thank you for your participation and for your interest in participating in the UPR. And at the QR code, you can find a link to the website again, a link to our socials, and also to the expression of interest form where we can keep you updated. Yes. Sorry. Just reading a message from the chat. Yeah, and we'll keep you updated on the socials and on through email, and hope to see you at the Model UPR and see your applications. And if you have any further questions, you're always very welcome to contact us. And otherwise, thank you for your participation and have a nice rest of your evening or day. And see you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ronia. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Professor.
And see you soon in Padua.
Yes.
In the pictures here, you see the